My name is Andy Austin, and I'm a freelance photographer from Montana. And for the last 10 plus years of my life, I've traveled to every corner of the earth looking for these lesser known destinations. Stuff that's just as important, just as beautiful, just as incredible as the main attractions of the world, but with nobody else there, seeing these amazing places. All right, so we just landed in Yopal. Stoked to be here in Amazonia, Orinoquía, and just kind of see what's in store for me. I don't really know anything about this region. I think my main goal is to try and figure out the story here, what is in this area from the people, landscapes, the animals, capture that through photography over the next few days. Yeah, my goal here is to get 10 photos that perfectly encapsulate the area. And that's tough to do, actually, because there's a lot going on here. There's so many animals, so many birds, so many cultures, so many things happening that to actually condense that to 10 photos is gonna be a challenge. The place we are right now is this really amazing place, and the fact that we've basically not seen any other tourists here is incredible. But there's a lot of feelings of home for me, the openness, the big sky, but then at the same time there's capybara. It's like a more tropical version with the birds and the wildlife. It's got its own uniqueness to it that I've never really seen anywhere else in the world.
Do you remember what was the name of the region?
Yeah, I'm working on it. It's the Orinoquía.
Very good. It was a good try.
Estamos en el municipio de San Luis de Palenque, en el departamento de Casanare. Esto es la región de la Orinoquía en los llanos colombianos. Y los ecosistemas que encontramos acá son principalmente la sabana inundable y los bosques de galería.
We're going to go across a small river where we will find aquatic birds.
Samantha was obviously very passionate about seeing these animals. Every time she sees a bird that she's probably seen a million times, she's still loving it. She's still really happy to share it with me and share that experience. So those experiences with guides are pretty incredible, where it feels like it's not a job to them, it's what they love.
So if you think about Colombia, you have eastern of the Andes, these vast plains, Orinoquía, but in the east and the south, you will find Amazonian region.
Miller is this guy who works at this ranch, and since day one, he's been kind of my right-hand man, showing me around. It took a little while for him to warm up to me and for us to warm up to each other, with the language barrier there. But once we did, we were cracking jokes with each other. We found out what we liked about each other, and we had a lot of fun. Yeah, we don't get this in Montana.
El primer día, pues me di cuenta de que Andy, como cuando hay una ave capturada y llega a la libertad, él se fue y no hallaba por qué lado, si por acá o por acá, de mirar lo más hermoso que hay aquí en nuestra reserva. E inmediatamente encontramos los búhos y más adelante ya como agrupados muchas especies.
I think with finding animals and wildlife in photography is you have to have a lot of patience.
Stay right there.
So that's always a challenge for me because I just want to go find things. I want to go trek into the bush. Sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's about waiting for them to come to you. Yeah, I see them. One of the things I really wanted to see was capybara. I mean, they're everywhere. And it was just awesome to see. And it still doesn't get old seeing these guys. They're so cool. I think it's kind of my spirit animal because you see them in any conditions. It's pouring rain. And it's just always just hanging out. It looks like it just needs a cold cerveza, as chill as it could be.
We are looking for the anaconda.
Oh my God. That thing is huge. How dangerous is it to like walk up to this thing? Yeah, it was so cool to see just like really up close, just to see the scales on an animal that big, like a reptile that big, and then just watching her breathe, you know.
So it's bigger than you expected?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Here we are, day one, and already found an anaconda. This is pretty stoked. I don't know where we go from here. For me, this is pretty much the top. So we've already heard that there is a giant anteater out here, and we really want to find it.
Nos toca no hacerle tanta bulla ni tanto ruido porque él poco oye, pero tiene muy buen oído.
So we have a pretty incredible scene over here. There's like two of my favorite animals within the same frame. There's an anteater, capybaras, there's even a fox over here, and the sounds of all of the animals in this area are just wild right now. I'm so happy.
Va a llover.
Rain's coming. Here we go. We were laughing in the rain and joking around about, just getting stuck in a rainstorm and just embracing it, having a really good time. Every time we try to do anything important, it's just gonna rain on us. But that's part of the fun, right? So on my last visit, I kind of heard a lot about how Colombia is the second most biodiverse country on the planet. And, oh, there's a macaw. All right. We just got video bombed by a macaw. Finding my encanto, definitely. But I can't give away the secret yet. All right, so just helped the Llaneros drive their herd of cattle from the fields and crossing the river, which was just a pretty incredible experience. It was definitely deeper than I expected, and next thing I know, my boots are underwater. I'm underwater. I was like, wow, this feels like home, feels like pushing cattle across a river crossing back in Montana. But then I looked over and saw a caiman pop its head up in the middle of the cattle, and I was kind of quickly thrown back into reality that I'm not home. This is a very different place. Yeah, Giovanna was very impressive to watch riding. I mean, obviously she's been doing this her whole life. The cowgirls are very tough, and she definitely proved that. In a place like this where there aren't as many tourists, you get a much more authentic experience because people aren't just doing things for tourism. These are real cowboys, real cowgirls, real horses, real experiences. You come back from being in the fields, food is ready, Miller's cutting up great slices of meat. Oh, it's incredible. That man can do it all. Find us animals, but also he's a master barbecuer. So I met Giovanna and Haler at the barbecue we had, and immediately it felt like old friends back home, just kind of connecting over these similar cultures and just a love of simplicity, I would say. So traveling the world as a photographer, my job is to find the story that I feel like describes this place. And here it was easy. The story was kind of laid out for me. It kind of just unfolded in front of my eyes. Yeah, I think for anybody who is a wildlife photographer, or a landscape photographer, or just a general outdoor photographer, this place is heaven. I could spend a month here and probably never run out of things to photograph. Something that's kind of a reoccurring theme is the language barrier that doesn't feel like a language barrier. We connect through a love of what we're doing, a love of the outdoors, a love of this culture, this feeling that we're all experiencing. So there is no direct translation for encanto in English, but it's a word that's commonly known out here. And to me, that's everything here. It's not just the wildlife we saw, it's not just the landscapes we saw, it's not just the people we saw, but it's a combination, it's the interaction of all three of those things. All of those kind of wrapped up together, that to me is encanto. I think from this experience, I'm taking a lot home. Even just talking about it gives me chills, right? Like just a moment in time that for me was very impactful. Dreams do come true, folks. Dreams do come true. And the warmth that I've found from Colombian people of embracing me as an outsider coming in has been incredible. And I can't wait to take that home, knowing that I am not returning the same man I came here as.